Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to you from the flight deck. It's that heli chap again, sitting on the deck at Nellis in the Mirage F-1CE. Going to do some weapon stuff tonight. First time attempting any sorts of weapons in this, so it's literally joining me as I plow through the manual and the checklists, trying to learn how to put warheads on foreheads, as the illustrious Casmo would say. First of all, I'm going to fix my track IR, because I just noticed that's not working. So let's sort that one out first. It's always the way, isn't it? Let's rescan devices. Track IR detected. Awesome. So, here we are on the ground at Nellis, Mirage F-1CE, currently the only one we have. It's in one of Draken's kind of deserty splinter colours. Using a Nellis mission I prepared earlier. So, let's get this thing fired up. Taxi out, try and put some of the circuit work into practice. Still not doing the whole cold start thing, especially on a stream. Like, no one wants to see you learn a cold start. So I'm just going to win home for the win. And while that's going, let's arm ourselves up. So what should we have? Let's try a bit of gun. Always love a bit of gun. Let's fill that up. Not going to take any countermeasures. Let's try. Now we've got 250s, belugas, can use with the Mirage 2000s, dropped a fair few of those, they're quite easy. Let's try some simple Mark 82s on the wing. Rockets, Snebs, 36, 68 more rockets, yeah. Got illuminators, smoke, TPs, target practice, focus on them. Got some bombs, which will have the Durandal runway and bunker busting. They're a little bit specialist. I'll come back and rearm with those. Gives us a chance to do some circuit work. Let's take 400s actually. Low drag. I try these SAMP 400s. You don't see those very often, so air-to-air missiles. R530 under the middle. £2,000 laser guided bomb. What's that? 400s on the side. Let's have 4 250s. Got any training bombs on here? Training bombs? Yeah. Shoot, retarded. Actually, yeah, let's try some high mag. Shall we? No. 4 250s. There they go, arming up. The invisible work crew. Invisible ground crew, latest French 70s technology. Oh, that's a rocket pod and a half, isn't it? Man. Serious amount of rocketoire. SAMPs are very well textured. Nice. 250 kilo bomb. Decent. And we are in. Turn the radar on. That appears to be nuking my frame rate. I might even turn that basically. Yeah, that's what PC does not like. Doesn't like the radar. Apologies. Not going to be using it today. So let's taxi ourselves out. Let's get on with Nellis. They should be on channel 1. And in fact, I haven't got my radio stuff programmed yet. So transmit. So I tend to do the keybinds as and when I go. Like I do a few basics first, but stuff like this now is like, where do I instinctively, naturally go to do it? I kind of work out where I'd expect it to be. Let's do some LMNOPQ radio system, push to talks. Push to talk button is Tango. That can be delete. And then I'm happy with that. Really. Alternative push to talk is just the green and red. It is not. So I've had comms menu, which is intercom. It slightly annoys me that radio is per record as well. When you don't have easy comms on, well, I'm kind of trying to get more akin to flying how the squadron does. Just because when you're on multiplayer, you can't just use backslash, or when you're in the air. But then I try and do it offline. Just every single one has got just a different binding and all called different things. The transmitter is XMT, XMIT. Don't know. Transmit XM. No. I essentially just want. It's going to be on the stick. Throttle. Throttle's just gone back flat. And then UHF radio testing. Select a switch there. The UHF control unit. Let's do video system. That's where we were. Is there another one of these? TP one. I've got TP. Still switch. Could be on the stick there. Let's see. Control stick. Push the talk button. Yeah. Why is that not bringing up the comms menu in DCS? Interesting. That's the thing that just nags me that little bit. Now I'm doing push to talk, but it's not. It's not doing it. Let's try it without for now. We have ATC, Nellis. So I've got all the preset frequencies. Channel 1 is Nellis. Okay, so oh fine, whatever. Backslash does work. For now. Dodge 1-1. Request taxi to runway. Dodge 1-1. Clear to taxi to runway 3. Path 2. 3 right. Interesting. And we get traction around 6,000, 6.5 because we're heavy now. Rolling brake check. There, right and left. There's some steering. I just ignore him. I'm going off 2-1. Because I did set up the mission to be that way round, although we know what DCS AI air traffic is like. So I've got some checklist stuff available. Weapons. No. And go commit, take that left. Join at Delta. Flaps are down. Good. Control checks. Good. Let's take this right onto Delta then. Good stuff. So let's pop that departure request in. I know there's no other traffic, but yes. Oh, it rolls. Oh, doesn't it roll with all that on the wing? Whee! Lordy. First time with weapons. Let's point towards Vegas, shall we? Cool. Gear. Let's have brakes. 8,000. Just going to give myself QFE. Which is all the way down here, because of course Nellis is about 2,500 to 3,000 feet up. But I presume that's what it's on by default, so 1,900 feet. Cool, 9038. Right and left with control check. Brakes, brakes, go! Slowly advancing. Burn, burn, go. First stage burn then. Let's be live. That's through 80, through 100. Trim is back, it should start lifting its own nose. Normally empty, it's about 150, but a little bit later than that. That's 60, 70, 10 degrees AOA. Wow, heavy. positive rate and gear up. And it's a maximum rate climb as best you can. Going to advance to a full burn. As max stage burns, flaps come up. For the Nellis procedure out of 2-1, we should have already turned by now. It's around 3,000. And out of burn at 300. Let's climb at 10 AOA. 3,000, let's pop that 60 degree right turn on. Irritating a lot of people here. And out of burn, 300 knots, 5,000 feet. A 60 degree bank on. 10 AOA. Is that the golf course? Probably. Don't actually know. Or is it that one up there? 300 knots, I've got up about 600 feet there. So on the reciprocal, 350 knots, that's about what we want there. Let's come back to the magic 7,300 RPM. See what that does. Trim for it. Oh, not bad, there we go. Now let's climb out. And now, ideally, we want 377.8. For which I can't remember which stud that was. But I can find out unless presets in here. If not, I do need to add them to. Nah, that's fine. I just won't get the cool range soundtrack. Let's pull around then. I'd have a look where we're going to go. So someone set up the range 63. And I can actually engage combat flap here, so that's this. Just down there. T-pills. So all that's going to do is deploy the flaps and give us more lift as we pull G's and alphas and magical stuff. So as we head now, roughly 270-ish. Cool. Let's make some switches live, shall we? So we're next way at the moment. I'm going to enter at 63 high. Buzz this creek down here. I should go for first. Just go for some gun. Let's go guns. Let's do that. On the range, we're going to go for range 63. Cool. In fact, let's enter directly from the south. All that means is just going a little bit left here. So over that terrain. Head over towards Creech. Bit of external interest. Probably shouldn't have gone with the desert camo because it's actually a little bit difficult to see from the outside. GG to Draken, ATAC and all those other American red air firms which are now out of work because America realised you can't pitch an F1 against an F-35 and have a suitable opponent. That's why they'll come to the UK instead, because we don't value our military, so why would you give them a decent opposition to train against? Sorry, did I say that out loud? Cool, that's it, range 63. Let's come right to 270. Let's get some switches live. Oh, a little bit faster. I only want to be around 350 knots. Cool. Let's let that come back. So let's bring our master switch live. So that's this one down here. Sec arms. Sec security disarms. So that's, I presume anyway, but that's going to be security, loss of protection of the arms. Weapon protection. Does that close again? It does. So that's our master switch on. We can get our sight selector as required. Gun button press. You know what should be before that? Gun button map. So let's find that one, shall we? So it's going to be on the control stick. Surely. Gun button. Bombs, rockets, missiles, and sight recorder button. Does that record bombs, rockets, and missiles? Or is it to fire them or record on the sight? I'll have that as my pickle button. Use with the thumb. Button A if you are unfortunate enough to be on an X56 like myself. And gun buttons, naturally just give it a trigger. I've got a push to talk button. That's already done through the keyboard because I do that through the four-way switch with your thumb. So that's divided into 4 in the X56's software. So that is, if I come off here and press move the switch to the right, that's jump to delete because it's actually just pressed delete. So it's like button and push to talk at the same. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's also have then the air to ground guns and rockets push button. Ground, air to ground, rockets push button on and off. Come on, man. Can I not have a toggle? How many buttons does a person need? Ugh, I was on the right console. Fair enough. So it is a switch. do I trust it to be on the throttle of my X56? That is the big question. You know what? I don't think I do. That's going to be up on here, on the stick near my thumb. And off is just going to be down. Let's try that. Oh, we have a gun reticle has appeared. That is off and on, and that moves. Very nice. So we can see which friendly unit we're going to friendly fire upon. Sight select as required. Let's do that then. I'm annoyed I've forgotten the frequency, or rather, not put them in. I might jump out and change that a bit. For now, let's roll in 350. Let's pull some G's. See the slats coming out. The yellow. Nice. Follow the road. Let's overfly the watchtower. I'll deselect gun to keep that safe. Because we do like range control officers. One of them is on our squadron, or was. He's retired. Flies in Vulcan simulators now. Sim instructor. It's got 1500 on there. But I don't think we're at 1500 feet, do you? Let's look at that sight picture. That doesn't look very 1500-y. Awesome. So now I've said hello, woken him up, made him spill his brew. That was a poor pass, with no rounds fired, but no accuracy. Well, are you inaccurate if you didn't fire a round? That's the question. Let's pull around then. Now I've got a good sighting for it. Out of burn. Save the polar bears. There we go. Nicely done. I should probably work out if there's a radalt in this thing. Maybe there is. If you know, drop it in the chat. I don't think it's that on the HUD. I think that on the right there, the 1900, is just the readout of my... no, actually it isn't. Is that the radalt then? It tops out at 1900, possibly. Don't know. We shall find out. So this doesn't have TP rounds. Just crossing through Creech's centre line now. So let's pull that 15 AOA. Get full mill power. Now gun profiles in this, are they going to be quite... I don't know. Gun is on. Tiniest of movements. Leave it to the last second. Short. Two rounds fired with 100% accuracy. Dead eye pass, apparently. I don't think I was within altitude constraints for that one. I forgot my own box was. And that's the burn on 15 degrees, 300 knots, 5,000 feet max. I'll come in lower for the next one. $3,000 to 925. 19, and now it starts coming down. No, I'm not convinced that that's a rad alt. I think that just shows your leftmost, like your ADC driven altimeter, but only up to like 2,000 feet for if you just it's convenience to put it on the hood. Let's make that 4G pull just on the edge of there. Cool. Let's set up then. Gentle 350 knots. Past the tower. Go for number 1. I think that's a total miss. Again. So that is not... He's driven. That was a poor pass, 28 rounds, so they all counted. Let's pull that 15A away, let's get that 4G pull. Looking over. 4G, nicely held, and roll out. Okay, so definitely need to aim a lot further away on this to shoot the gun distances. You can probably adjust that. In fact, that's going to be what these little things on there are, isn't it? Let's be honest. That's going to be your range. There's something that's auto manual. Intensity selector, lighting selector. Nuit et jour. Let's leave it in day mode since it is bright desert sun. Let's try and avoid the Creech centre line. Now, get our 4Gs on. Hold it. Let's come back to 300 knots, give ourselves a bit more time in the groove, for want of a better phrase. Rolling out then. The RWR, I'm being very attentive with my RWR apparently. Strafe pit 1, here we go. Hunters out left. 76 rounds fired, 50% accuracy. Oh man. That's why we're here, right? Getting used to it. It's not corrected like the A10 we know and love. Anyway, what sort of pull is that? 2G. Come on. You're not flying a Cessna. 3G. Roll out of burn. 350 knots, good. 4,500 feet. Not bad. Definitely need to be aiming quite far ahead of the target. gravity drop selection. Hey, here we go. I think that's about what? Depression 40? There'll be depression tables in the manual and or the kneeboard, which I may bring up in a second. Let's try it with that first. Let's try it by eye. I'll get some sort of orbit and then 40 to AOA. Yeah. Rolling out. 400 knots, let's pop some air brake. Let's have 350. Am I too wide? No. Oh, that was way too far there. Let's get a pull on. Okay, so 40 is extremely ambitious. Let's go back to 20. Let's get that 10 AOA on. 10? No, a bit slow for that. And roll out over the hill. Out of burn. Back to full mill. Let's get 350 knots on. Yeah, the depression tables. Let's try and. Can I drag the. How do you drag the. Ah, there you go. Le checklist. Yeah, so we've got the matter of rockets and for the bombs. But not for the gun. So I don't really know what to suggest apart from a bit of, well, presumably experience of the pilots and actual, F1 training. Let's roll that around then. Rip that round. 3G. Let's get in relatively low. Let's go for the right pit this time. In fact, am I even in the right place for it? A bit tight. Let's go left pits, but now I'm on the track for them. Go for the far left one. Ooh, that's coming up fast. And we were too far to the middle. Far right one. Are we rolled in? Am I too fast? I was too fast. Excess of 400 knots. Wasn't paying attention there. Let's roll that back. 3G pull. 300 knots. Hold that on. 15 alpha. 17 alpha. There we go. I'm impressed by its low speed handling in the air. Not around the circuit. It's not very nice to fly now. It's not the worst, but it's not the best. But for something with such short wings, like the F5, it's pretty good actually. Quite like it. 15. Try gun depression of 15, because they were going a little bit high just then, weren't we? They were a bit fast. bleed some of that speed off. Yeah, whatever. Rolling out. 300. We in. We're in. Clear hot. "40 rounds fired. 37.5% accuracy. Ineffective pass. Not bad. Well, that's our best one yet, as you would sort of expect. I'm discounting the excellent, which was 2 rounds, both on target. Three and a half G, 350 knots. Out of burn. Cool. And that is us out of gun rounds. 1,000 feet, let's level that out. Cool. Okay. Gun comes off. Leave master arm on. For the rockets. So master arm comes on. We've got pushed, which gives us our reticle. And then we have single or salvo selector. Let's see what that is. Look, salvo, single or salvo selector. Okay. Let's do. What's the other one we need? On rocket selector. In and out of all pylons. I'll save that for the joystick. Let's have salvo single, and then bomb/rocket selector. Bomb rocket selector. Oh, why? Oh my! Why do you do this, man? Can I not toggle like forwards, like up and down, so it cycles through? Okay. I'm gonna need to make up the controls for this then. Inboard, outboard, 1 and 2. What's the difference there? 1 and 2. Oh, that'll be both. Okay, whatever. Inboard, that could be the inboard button, and the outboard button, which is going to be POV left. Can be the rocket selector. Site selector is required, and then guns and rockets push button. Bombs, rockets, and site recorder button. Press. Ah, that's to deploy, isn't it? Yeah. So single salvo. Let's go with. So that's down here. So that's now in single. And then we also have bomb and rocket selector, which is going to be the outer pylons in this case, which we select out. Let's roll back in. We're doing 350, so 3.5 G. Whee! I'm just going to deselect and do a quick sighting pass on the next target. Let's pick our next target. I'm not going to use a strafe pit for rockets because range controllers would probably get sad with that, wouldn't they? So I've got a couple of bombing circles. In fact, I'm going to go for the rocket targets behind, which I believe are the only depleted uranium approved targets on the entire range. So let's line up the tower and the target out there in the distance for your benefit. Between the two. Let's come right back. We're too high for it. And let's try Pickle. Oh, let's see. They go, don't they? And we're outright. They're, if anything, a little bit nicer to use than the gun. Obviously because they're propelled. Maybe it's because I've already got it depressed to 15 and it's about the same sort of range. They were good then. They weren't too bad. I didn't get a hit assessment off it. Maybe I was too high or fast. But that's one kill on there. Let's not exceed 400 in range, can add to 5,000 feet. Nice. Get a bit of distance, watch Creech's centre line, and then roll in for number 2. Rockets being rockets, you can't lose more, I think. Lose rockets on this one, so that'll be over to the bomb circles. Roll it. Pull it. 4.5 G for this one. 50 knots. Oh, let's pull. Oh, it doesn't like doing that, jeez. 4G back at 400. 3.5 G at 350. Let's go for the left hand group of vehicles. That's 350 knots. They're away just before the foul line, and they have fallen short, I think. That's disappointing. Let's buzz them. I mean, they did seem to explode amongst them. Just not, just not enough of a direct hit. These are TPs anyway, which I presume is target practice. It could be French for like totally penetrative or something like that. Which would be most amusing. $300 knots, yeah. Roll that out. Oh yeah, 3,500 this time. Let's assess those bomb circles. I'll probably go for the bomb circle on the right rather than on the left. Let's not exceed that 400 knots. Come back to idle. And it doesn't seem to be recommended in the Mirage F1 though, is going back to idle too often. That's our 300, let's go to full mill. And 3G. 3.5, 400 knots, 350 knots, sorry. $350. I think I've still got a few rockets in there, it looks like. See where they land. Nah, they're a bit garbage, weren't they? All over the place. Is that me out of rockets now? Yeah. Right. Well, bomb time it is. 350, let's get this 3.5 Gs on. Back to 3. Let's not get too high. We'll go for this circle here. Okay, let's take that out of gun, rocket, whatever mode. Let's come back to 7.3. See what that does for us. Bring up le checklist. Oh, that's the wing or fuselage bomb. But of course there is. Of course there's a bomb rocket selector. Goes to inboard. That's fine. I've got that one. Site selector is required. So it literally just is a single and salvo. That's going to drop one per wing or both in it. Head around a wing or fuselage bomb push button. That's another button. Man. And that's not going to be wing or fuselage button, is it? That's going to be wing button. That's going to be fuselage button. Bomb. Bomb rocket selector. Wing bomb button, fuselage bomb. Oh, man. Ay, ay, ay. Right. Fuselage. I don't even know what you do for that on here, but then it's. I don't trust my X56 POS to behave itself. I'll do something silly with that. Fuselage push button. Let's go with this. Fuselage push button. On. On. See how we do with it on the throttle. Wings on. Off. Okay, so that is just these here. So bomb buoy, bomb fuselage. So let's have the wing one selected first. Within single, bomber rocket selector is selected to the outer pylons. That's it. Correction, inner, because that's where the bomb is. Instantaneous delay or safe. Select on switch. Let's have our bomb fusing switch. Delay. Safe. Instant. Or delayed. Let's do instant or delay. We don't need safe. bombs aren't safe. Ah, and that's that one in the middle there. Cool. And that's then wing bombs. Okay. Let's try this then. Try a bit of a dive bomb with this. Let's get up to 350. First stage burn. Get past the nose a bit. I don't like negative G in aircraft, but we're going to have some. And let's pull that. Ooh, that comes off. That's a bit short. Whoa, it does not like asymmetric load, especially with the 400 kilos on the wings. It's all the weapon stuff down here then, really. Wing bombs, yeah. Instantaneous fusing. Man, that is a lot of trim. Let's take a look at the depression table. Let's look at, for the bombs, we've got the 4... No, it's only for the 250s. Oh, the SAMP. 4. 50s. Target elevation, yes. A 400 knot dive. Okay. 400 knot dive, 10-degree angle. From 1,000 feet is 100 MPAs. Which kind of makes sense because I mean, it's it's a real plane, like F-18 nonsense, A-10 nonsense. Just told you where it's going to land. Nope. Old school, proper learning aircraft. This one, skill based. The Viggen is a bit more advanced than this. A happy medium. I like the fact it uses its radar to show you where bombs can go. The Viggen campaign playthrough was very good indeed. 1,000 feet above the target, I would like a QFE for the target. That's what I have in the Viggen. But man, I have to really give it some left stick here. I would do trim, but I'm going to lose it in a second anyway. Let's get 400 knots on. See where we end up. 1,000 feet above the target. 400 knots. 10-degree dive. That's 5, and then let's just go down to 10. And that was a bit long. I think it's because I held off there. I did 5 degrees for a little bit. They're 400s anyway. I've probably got on profile with these 250s. Got a warning there, which amazingly is for fuel. That's not too bad. I'm not too worried about fuel because of Creech being just here. It's all in the plan. I've got 540. So let's go to center. Let's go to fuselage. We're in instant inner pylon. Is it relevant? Single bomb. Titan selector. Cool. Let's try the profile again. This time we'll go for the left target. Stay very much out of burn. And I've just put it into salvo mode by pulling that switch towards us. Let's see if we can get all these, shall we? So we're pulling up. Let's go 400 knots out of it. .400 knots, 10-degree dive, 1,000 feet-ish. There we go. Pull and burn. In fact, no burn actually. Can't afford to burn now. And that was a pair, and they were well short. So I was most likely too high for that one. Especially on a screen. I mean, a crap at IRL at like the distance when you're at altitude. So yeah, like working out, assuming, oh, that's 1,000 feet. Nope. No siree. And that's 370 on the fuel. What have we got underneath? Yeah. Them out. Cool. So let's RTB to Creech. Let's go to channel 2.
Dodge 1-1 inbound.
No? No one? Oh well. Let's go straight in on fuel emergency then. Straight to a left downwind. Says the tower area extends essentially through the centre line out to pretty much those mountains there, just on the left side. So it'll show up on your F10 map as CAF B tower, because that's Creech Air Force Base. There you go. So I would like Creech's UNH or QFE, but oh well. Let's get ourselves down to 215 knots, 215. So that we can extend the gear and flaps. That is the slats coming out, that's essentially combat flap there. Loads of back trim now. And come back to 7,300 on the power. Pulled to 10 AOA. Should be giving us about 150 knots. And I think 6,300 for the final. Man, that's picky. Ugh. And I haven't put switches safe, for that I do apologise, that is poor form. Oh, well, it feels heavy, but it was kind of on a bit of profile. It does say to aero brake up to 13 AOA. Go. 80 knots manual braking. We've got the danger. Lace T, Niv, and Div. Whatever they mean. Check out the windsock, look at that. Shows the right runway. And we're going to vacate right. Lovely, there we go. The size of those rocket pods. Rockets are chunky pods. Let's get a wiggle on. So, master switch. Just turn that off. Obviously should have done that on leaving the range. My apologies to the range police who may be watching. And the Mirage F1 circuit police, but that's me as well. To be fair, that I'm not too bad at getting that profile right now. It does land hard though. Like if you do it by the book, by the numbers, it lands bloody hard. A couple of drones in the hangars. Reapers and Predators. UK and a Ukrainian Antonov. Wonder what they're here for. Let's pop in under here. If it's tall enough, actually. Oh, don't know. These are designed for RPAS systems, so they are quite low to the floor. What's a Global Hawk though? Global Hawk's massive. I don't know if anyone watching this now has been near a Global Hawk or something. It's bloody huge. Very impressive. I do like Global Hawk a lot. RQ4, I think it's called. Yeah, look at that. Like a glove. And we'll stop that there. Parking brake on. Cool. Let's do a hot refuel, shall we? The hot rearm. So we're going to keep livery down to 7% fuel. Let's go to, what time is it? 22:10 in the UK. Let's have full gun ammo. Done a bit of rocketry, done a bit of bombing. What other bombs have we got? SAMP 125s, belugas. we go with belugas? Let's just have all belugas. Durandals. Yeah. All belugas. Let's go with that.
Request refueling. Request rearming.
So belugas I'm relatively familiar with as a weapon from the Mirage 2000. Have an awful lot of fun with those, low and fast. Very Vigan-esque in its delivery. Got to fuel it first. Ugh. Get a quick drink. Of black-coloured fizzy drink. This one being Coca-Cola, but other black fizzy drinks are available. Come on, they got us dry us. Let's have a look. Is that fuel value going up? No, it is not. Why, pray tell me? Are they going to want me to shut down? Or at the very least have the canopy open? Ah, that's the brake chute. Of course it is. Of course it is. Oh well. That's fine. Yay.
Refueling complete.
Oh, they are refueling. Oh, of course. It's you have to manually set this, don't you? To the amount of fuel. Like so in the Mirage 2000. Here they go. Bloody hell, that's fast. Lovely. Right, let's pull up the belugas then. Bombs, you select it. There'll be a beluga profile, but that's not just bloody low and bloody fast, is it? Oh, what, 500 knots? Minimum? So it's going to be the same procedure for the bombs, I presume. So that's just master switch, inboard or outboard. Single or salvo. Bombs and rockets. Instantaneous. Delay. Safe selector switch. Selector. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what the depression's going to need to be on that though. Not a Scooby-Doo. Let's give ourselves maximum fuel because we had it. For 8490, oh man, it's tedious. 600. It's all going to have gone by the time I do this. Get through. 690, 740, 780, 810, 40, 860. Oh, I don't even care. Let's wait for the fuel line to come on. Right, let's roll. Braking, brake check, lovely. Top the left out here. Now, if we need a mock runway of some sorts, where can we go? I think there's 3 or 4 disused airfields. Well, laid out target airfields. So, I think one of them is in range 76, or we head down to California to Leach Lake. Let's head down there. Let's head to California. California IA. So we won't go right on Charlie, we'll just go around the end here. Righto. Traffic alert. Well, that's clearly broken. That's a that's one of the tankers coming in. Who's refusing to stay on station? Must be a French tanker. Gone on strike. Let's take a right onto Bravo. Now let's pop the flaps down. Slats that. Flaps coming, slats are out, can see those. Good indications. And we'll return to Nellis from Leach Lake, I think. To runway 21, which I believe is 109. Here indeed is the KC-135. So I'm definitely looking out for traffic on final here. So I don't trust the AI not to go around and just crash into me. We are to right and clear left on entering. Backtrack down to here. In fact, let's go from the arrestor wire. Hard A bout. Cool. Brakes on 80%. Well, 8,000 RPM. Cool. Control check. Left. Forward, right. Yeah. Visual steering goes into shallow. And all off. That's on. Good. Brakes. Brakes. Go. Slowly advance. Burn. Burn. Go. That's 150. Let's get that nose up. Try and fly it from the outside. There you go. Gear selected up. And flap selected up. At 215. Let's keep burning to 300. Take a right then. About 15 degrees nose up. Hold that. First stage burn. Excuse me. About 1.9. 0. Cool, let's trim for about 20 degrees nose up. Look at that, rock steady. Ten, 10,000. And I'll just pop the right one off flight level, that's what I tend to have it on. Let's top out. About here. Out of burn. Ah, overzealous there. Getting used to that one. 14.5. There, that'll do. Could try and get the autopilot working. Let's just cruise at full mil. Flat for 150. Wait. Spicy trimage. 50, come on. So there must be an autopilot master switch somewhere that I am not finding. Although this does super cruise, it seems, because that's 0.9, and the faster we go, I do notice as the speed increases, it kind of punches through each 0.1 of a Mach and just drops the nose. So we'll set around 450 knots. The lovely Nevada scenery. Some Vegas over there. So we go right around Pompeii. So the speed's increasing again because that nose is plummeted. We're down to 14,000. That just takes some getting used to. I'll keep that 450 on. F10 on the range 60. Which range are we in? 63. Statistics. Bombing results. F10 on the range 63. Statistics or strafe results. I scored it. Which range was I just at? Range 63. That's not storing it. 14,000 to be towards Leach Lake. Because Leach Lake has a mock airfield. As does Range 76, but it just didn't look as far. Could do a nice little round trip back to Nellis. And on the range, LTR 66. My settings. F7. F10, F1, F2. F11. 2. And my settings, we can targets with so let's Leach Lake over to our forward right. It's now well and truly in California. On my F10 map, you've got Edwards Air Force Base and China Lake. Well, this is Panamint we're in now. Panamint airspace. We're going to roll into Leach Lake Tactics range. So we're going to go with wing bombers first in single and outboard. Let's do a nice high pass, find out where the airfield is. I think it's at this end, this cluster of buildings along a strip here. Our depression is at 100. Sounds like me, to be honest. 100%. But we'll set that to 110. There you go. 110% depressed. Let's have a good look at that on the way past and then we'll roll in on it. About 20,000 feet. Little fuel check. That's going to be. We'll do this on the left now, isn't it? Fuel gauge test, but I hope it's working. Bloody one on the left isn't it? On the right isn't. Is that all the way up there? Interesting. It's not the FAC, is it? Yeah, so you can see the airfield kind of laid out there. I do want the smoke to go away now. Maybe I slightly regret doing that. I need to work out making a way to turn that off. Maybe it'll stop. 6C roughly got a runway and some taxiways and stuff. I think it's an SA2 site up there. And a few buildings. That's with the bomb checklist, that's on wing and fuselage bomb push button on wing. Single. Outer. Instantaneous. Site selectors. And essentially got a pickle button. Shall we roll in? Go on then. So where are we at? 22 and a bit. Let's go to idle. 60 degree, 30 degree over bank. Nice pull, 4G. Can start rolling up that speed to around 500 knots for Beluga delivery. Off the top of my head. From the Mirage 2K, you go 0.9. That's for what, 150 feet, isn't it? Ignoring these other targets on the left. Come back and do those another day. And the smoke fades just in time. And that is down a taxiway there. Burn that up to 0.8 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Has that done anything? Let's not go supersonic. Don't think that has released because my master arm was not on. I knew that as I did it. Sausage. Ah well, that was a show of force for the first one. Give him a chance to run away. 6G. Here it comes, Vive la France. And they know I'm coming for this one. There you go, 550, Mach 0.9. Destroying these two aircraft on the taxiway. We go 1, 2. They were a bit of a failure, weren't they? They went too far forward. So that needs to come right up. Actually, 50. Let's rip that round then. 6G pull, caution terrain. Let's keep that pull on. Over the forward air controllers who should be up here somewhere. Give them something to watch. Give them some YouTube content. Speed now 400, first stage burn. Should be more than enough. Going to run diagonally on the field. Got a nice strip here. Out of burn. Inboard. 1, 2. They're a total miss as well. They were slightly closer, but still not amazing. Now we just choose fuselage bomb. One more bomb and de cluster. Keep this one idle. The same for the hardened, well, the aircraft shelters. I'm gonna go here. And a big puff of smoke. So come back to idle. Put ourselves up to 350. Roll onto Nellis. Back to full mill. 13,000. What's it about? 0, 2, 0? Oh, it's going to be more than that. 0, 6, 0. Fuel check. 12. Not bad. More than enough. I think that's going to be RTB for tonight. But that's alright. That's a first pass. Play about with the runways. Play about with the frequencies as well. That's one of 3 OC airfields. I was about to say in Nellis. This one is technically not Nellis. It's Edwards Air Force Base, but the Romeo 25 at 08 complex. But that's by the by. It's the one of 3 on the Nellis Nellis map. I mean, you could say there's 4. There's one right in the middle of the screen there. But it's just where old ones are no longer in use. Let's drift left a little. I think Nellis is essentially through here. Cool, how we doing? Trimmed. Sort of. Let's put my lights on. It's dark in here now. How we doing? 15,000. I want to try and keep trim the bejesus out of it, although we are going very quickly now. Let's come back to 7,300. It seems to be a magic number, doesn't it? 7,300. If you can find it, man, the twitchiest throttle. Being on an X56 does not help. If you're watching this and you can't tell, I don't like the X56. It's literally the worst thing I've ever spent money on. And I've bought some stupid stuff in my lifetime. Am I even going the right way? I am. Look at that. Who knew? Citizens coming out of the Edwards complex, heading back over the border to Nevada. Now I'm going to go into Nellis for runway 12. 21 correction, rather than 03. We can even use the old. If we can, let's get these off. That's in. That's middle. That's off. Good, they're all in the middle. Switch is safe, leaving the range. $7,300. Yeah, we are dropping down a bit. Might do a Star Wars Canyon run in this one next time. It's got these big ass mountains between you and La Vegas. Autopilot disconnect trigger. Let's have a look at the autopilot disconnect trigger. Yeah. Cool. Let's burn up to get up to 15k. So for this one you need the paddle pulled, which I believe is essentially a disconnect, so it gives control to the autopilot rather than you. So you're essentially disconnecting your own controls so that the aircraft can have them. How did it feel? 11, good. 200 to go. $150, level that. Let's ease that backstick pressure. Well, that doesn't work. Huh. Test pilot automatique. No, it's not working. I'm not convinced. That is Vegas creeping up in front of us. No, that does not work. I cannot engage the autopilot. Autopilot disconnect connected on the control grip. Yeah, that's pulled. Then that's PA. Just recalling the bullshit. Let's do cap RNG modes. No. Test PA. No. Ah. Well, that's not very good, is it? Nevada BT. Let's bring up McKinnon, Nellis. Yeah, coming in from the south. Just be to Wistow. It's got 209 on the heading O-meter. And let's see how that's slow down. On. Got McLaren down there. The Vegas strip. Could it go? That is Nellis just above, so that's us crossing our own desired centre line there. Let's fly onto the reciprocal. 12,000 feet above the field. So we'll be nice and high over the city, and then we can dive our way in after. What is the height restriction? 15,000. Yeah. Cool. How are we doing? Ah, I'm miffed with the autopilot, man. Why is that not working? The test display enables one person not to test the flying aid and autopilot interlocks. Yeah. But the paddle, just controls. Let's try an ILS approach in this. Autopilot disengage lever. Autopilot disconnect trigger? Is it that instead? That's not what it says in the manual though. Oh, autopilot disconnect trigger? No, I think it might be, you know. Let's get to 15k, which is actually, well, we're going to be, what's it, 13.2 because of 1800 feet. And that's got to be QNH, not QFE, hasn't it? Let's go to 13.2, 350 knots. 13.2 is near enough 15,000 feet. Flight for 150. Good. Let's try this now. No. No, that doesn't work either. One of them, both of them. No. Well, that's not very good, is it? Even the autopilot's gone on strike. How French can you get? 109.1 IQ. 209. Yeah. We don't have any of these procedures, so we can fly the outbound 178 358 radial on the LSV TACAN. 4, 3. This is us coming over Nellis now. Fly 358 as we pass over the beacon. Swings round as we pass near enough over the beacon. And what DME? 21. 21 DME arc. 13.2. Here comes 13. There we go. Looking 4. There you go, it's 9 DME. Halfway there. Pigeon on a chair. And to be at 12,500. So it's about 12.8 actually. So I'll start our gradual descent. We're well and truly away from the field anyway. Got 12.7 on there. 13, 14, 12.7. Woohoo. I'll do 7,300 RPM, that is the magic number. Anyone would think someone had flown this before. And we're all the way out here now. All the way up. Top 7, yeah. So 21 DME. Here comes 20. And we now just keep it on our right wing. So we're going to pop it. Say 12.7. Place on our 90 degrees. The Mirage. Hello there on Twitch, can you tell me how is the curve of my joystick? You've got Mirage F-1CE. I can indeed. I can take a moment to show you actually. So at the moment I've just gone with my default for the time being. So for pitch I'm on 15 curvature. So I don't have a stick extension or anything like that. So I'm literally just using an X56 on desktop, so it's 15, I think, all round. I might up the curvature of the rudder. I'm generally quite gentle with it, or I may up the curves. But at the moment it's literally just 15 all round. I'm looking into a stick extension. But even there, it can be quite aggressive. There's a couple of aircraft I've got bigger curves on. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what they are now. And there's some though which the roll rate is massively excessive. Let's get to here, 21 DME. Actually 300 feet per mile. So now we're starting to roll 209. No worries, anytime. Thanks for stopping by. So I'm going to roll onto that final now. That's about 209. I'm going to pull round. I think I should still be looking at this at 12,500. And then you start turning on the glide. As we know, you should 21. Oh, 21 should be 8,600. So this is your vertical profile down here. We need to be right down at 8.6. Where do I want to go? I'm literally just returned to Nellis. I'm just mucking about on the with the approach plates. I did want to try and get the autopilot working and try and do an automated landing with this on the ILS. But no matter whether I do the paddle or the disconnect switch, I can't get the autopilot to engage in this. I'm literally just returned to base after dumping a load of cluster bombs on Leach Lake. 8,600 vertical profile at 13 is 5,000. And then at 7.2 we want to be 4,200. So 7.2 DME, we'll just close it through 10, 5,400. And in fact, I should have the ILS crossbars coming in here now. So I'll now pick up the glide now that my glide slip is alive, albeit in very much the wrong place. So I'm idle, coming to air brake. I shouldn't actually be at idle, I should be at 7,300. So let's correct that. 7,300, so this is going to be a 3-degree glide path. Now we can see on the attitude indicator the yellow bars showing I'm now on profile. I've got air brake out, 7,300. Airspeed is coming down slowly. I think it's minus 300. Let's come back to 7,000. Because I can't do anything without 5 DME, but it's at the other end of the runway. That's slightly below glide. I'm going to come back off that throttle because I don't want my gear down and flap. Q on the keyboard. I'll find out what. I'll try what Q is. I think I've got Q mapped to a button on my joystick. That's the problem. Fairly sure I'm doing it. Like the manual, I thought was quite good, but it does seem to be not as good as I thought it was. I'll try that in a second. I'll have a look at what the mapping is and see. So we're slightly above glide now, on the centre line. So that's gear and flaps with good indications. Should be quite a bit slower than this. I'm going to put speed brake out and use a little bit of aero. Let's pull back because we're just slipping below glide there. Let's have the air brake in as we now level out the capture slightly right off centre line. There we go. Coming in, and we should be at 10 alpha. Idle. 10. Hold 10. Touch. Not bad. Not bad. It always seems to land heavy, even if I try and flare it just that little bit over. And actually, we should be aero braking now. Just pulling that back, but we'll be too slow. You're supposed to hold it just into the yellow block on your AOA, so it's about 12, 13 AOA. But that's not bad. There we go. And thank you over on Twitch. Getting not too bad at the handling now. The weapons are similar to the Mirage 2000, I'm finding, so I'm not too worried about them actually. The gun is difficult to use, unless I haven't worked it out yet, but unless it's some sort of radar ranging, like you get on the Vigan. But like that was difficult because there's no depression table either. Where do we go? So obviously you've got the depression tables for the rockets, but then, and only for some of the bombs. So I'm going to vacate left, flaps come up. And let's turn off the annoying beeps for anyone who's still watching. Come off. And let's drop it over here. Cool. Let's get this off. Parking brake on. Just make sure the armaments are off, but on the whole, let's just get an outside view for you. Shut down with the good old-fashioned windows, and then because I need an English cockpit before I'm going to try the checklist. Well, my French isn't too bad, but nowhere near as good as it was. There we go. That's a few weapons employed in the Mirage F-1.
Chief, turn on the ground power. Copy.
And there we go. That concludes.
Power is now on.
Ah, there you go. GPU cart comes out with the GPU card comes out. There you go, it's a nice Aerges feature. Get on the C101 as well. Why not make it a DCS feature built in? Who knows? That'll be far too complicated, wouldn't it? But there we go. That's going to be me for tonight, I think. 11 o'clock UK time, so some sort of sensible bedtime. I'll most likely be around again tomorrow, similar sort of time. Anytime between kind of 8 and 9 until probably about 11ish, maybe midnight. But thank you for those who've watched. Thank you for those who've stuck around. Put up with me watching watching me fumble my way around the Mirage F1. But it wasn't too bad. The weapons got a lot of the bindings done. So great fun wherever you are in the world. Stay safe. Enjoy yourselves. It's a strange old place at the moment. So look after yourself. And then by looking after yourself, you will look after those around you naturally. So all the best. Thanks for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye for now.